eat something after this. Lower the gain a bit.
Pick your hero or villain.
Testing, 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 testing. 1, 2, 3, testing. Hello, world. You can hear me, right? Alright. Alright.
I am
Oh, I blame him. Gorot. Bogey is gonna be late.
30 seconds before you attack.
Oh
Get ready.
damn! What a punt!
I am Groot.
Loki, why do you lie?
Well, dear, how else is anything done in this universe?
I like the
What
future.
a punt, man!
has
That's why you
kick-ass
got the Ryder
ordnance.
pup.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
Doom has overreached, and we must correct him. Render me assistance. Unless
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now. The mission area is yours. Spiders from this nest are hunting us.
This is real firepower.
Keep going. Control lost.
Bright like a star.
Friends, gather around.
I am
For the nest. Seized. Focus on the battle.
I am Groot.
Fight away. Hostile ahead.
Your powers are mine. This is real firepower.
It's spider time! Nothing!
Watch your back.
You'll have to keep fighting until you have a winner. Look,
First blood goes to Europe.
Groot.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Okay, am I crazy? crazy? Or are you totally checking me out, Mantis?
I apologize. Your soul burns so bright. Almost more intense
We
than
gotta
your
kill
flames.
Punisher if they have
Wow, that is a
Punisher.
pretty good pickup line. What are you
Oh,
doing
there are no
after
kills.
this?
Well,
Saving the timeline from total collapse?
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
The Fantastic Four is my family. They mean more to me than anything. Our foes draw near. Your guard is suffering.
The mission area is yours to capture now. Capture the mission area!
I am Groot!
how do I get up there again?
Your team's capture progress has passed the halfway point.
I am
Okay, understood. We needed some help, didn't we? Our enemies are here.
rise, my friends!
My life energy flows strong.
Your powers are mine! Born again!
You've captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going. It's spider time!
My way!
Glory is almost yours.
I require speed.
Winner. I need assistance.
Come on, Loki. I'm not falling for that. On your tail. Look out.
We are undefeatable.
King's son.
Control lost.
Ah, damn.
I'm opening a portal. Pentagram of Parah.
Let's keep fighting until we have a winner. Friends, gather around. You are nothing. Coming from behind.
I purge the darkness. We lack strength for this encounter.
They took out the big guns.
When science failed me, open your eyes. Reality is but an illusion.
I'm a little cynical. Probably the Russian in me.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
I have mutant powers. And a little
How much you want for it?
Nani, you expecting Peter Parker? Please.
I have mutant powers. And a little demonic
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
I like hanging around Groot because he gets me.
Welcome to the Dark Force dimension.
I'm clocking some bad guys.
Not going anywhere.
I'll catch you now. I have not seen so many spiders.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now.
Right like a star.
The mission area is yours. Ancient secret revealed. You're not going anywhere. So it begins. Stealth and tight.
a disappearing.
Behind us.
Enemies help.
No hidden spell.
Born again! Supernova! Nobody can stand up against the full-strength Scarlet Witch.
Double kill! Mission area. Keep going. That's 3. Wow, 4 in a row. You got them all.
Perfection. Did you expect any less?
Do 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 do.
A disappearing.
These mechanical arachnids are no more. Enemy in front
The
of us.
spider swarm.
They're staying. Glory is almost yours. It's fighting time!
Castle wins out.
You were under my spell.
Seriously, stay away from my
Control lost.
What the? How'd you cut me out of that shit?
Render me assistance. Need some ranged firepower. Battlefield ready again.
Reborn
I
from
want
the
to know everything
chaos.
else, so they have very weak healers.
This is a nice spot.
unmerciful. That's what I am. Unmerciful. I'm hungry.
Another epic victory! Big win!
I killed 4. When did I kill 4?
I am much better now.
This was inevitable.
Once again, DRP going to be the primary focus of a lot of the incoming damage. But MASH is staying well on top of this, and Vertigo's going to be able to bring up a healing pool soon.
Yeah, I mean, great bubble coming on through from Vertigo as well. You can actually see when we're looking at Beetle's POV, the amount of bubbles this Captain America is taking. That's the target eye of Agamotto, right onto the rocket. There's a reason, though, because that's not just one elimination you find. It's technically two, as BRB was about to come back into play as well. So Citadel Gaming will be able to, off of the back of that, find the picks and do Chopped actually go back to spawn and swap onto a 2-2-2 format, or are they going to wait for Crazy Kitty to try and teleport them back into this fight? Yeah, I think Enzo would likely counter portal, but if you're Citadel Gaming, you're coming in with this fight with so many ultimates, it's a matter of not burning all of them.
All right, counter portal used here by Enzo. Chop's not going to be investing their own, which means they might be able to come back with it later on in the fight. Beetle already taking a bunch of damage, and the Omega Hurricane is going to be the opener to start this one out. Already, the Jeff NATO dragging in the Vanguards. The invisible boundary just pilot them outside of it, so they're not within the warm confines of what Sue was bringing to the table. MASH, all they can do is watch the weather front move on, and Citadel Gaming should be able to cleanly claim first.
That's big for Citadel too, because it means that they're going to be able to pocket their Punisher with both the Strange and the Armor Shields if DRP tries to find the Meteor Arm to counterplay the Final Judgment, which is going to be most likely the opener coming on through from Citadel Gaming side, as it's going to absolutely melt down the Freedom Charge HP that Beetle affords his team.
Yeah, that Freedom Charge HP doesn't last long when faced with that much raw damage. Okay. As you said, straight away, going to be trying to get through this one with the raw damage provided. Oh, the Meteor M, is the protection going to be there? I think it was burst almost instantly. The damage boost from Aluna, 40% more damage from a Final Judgment. I don't even know numbers that big, Mox, and I've got a degree. Tanuki looking to escape from the incoming. It's Jeff, both for Punisher and the Luna grabbed, but it's too risky a path to go towards the outside, so Crazy Kitty's just going to put them in the corner here and attempt to mug them in the streets. And the streets know some hands right now. Melio and Alex were unprepared for their walk on the wild side.
Oh, Agamotto comes on through, but I think it actually didn't manage to find what it was looking for. 2Z Nag with that mag bubble, as well as the Pocket Guardian Shield coming on through from MASH. Gets to unleash the Galactic Legend when Citadel Gaming do not have a single defensive option for them, as Melio swaps over to the Adam to have Soul Bond and walk into this first fight, and potentially survive the invisible boundary that Chopped are going to be able to utilize against Citadel Gaming when it comes to the Sharknado once more.
Storm's coming, Annie. Jeff Nado ready to go. Tanuki gonna have to deal with the damage coming through from Tuzi in the back. Give him the bulwark, but a lot of things have already been used here. Now Tanuki sees a clear runway. Flee all and sundry. You can see already the opposing Jeff tried to escape Vertigo and MASH. Despite all the healing, can't deal with this. DRP and Beetle are gone. I think that Polly might not have especially needed that ultimate to deal with.
Yeah.
Hey.
I think if you're Chopped, and we see Sharknado come through, it might be time to just save Invisible Boundary and try and one-shot it with Meteor M coming on through from DRP, because that's now, again, Invisible Boundary entirely prevented. They do have Fate of Both Worlds, however, to come on through, and that respawn being close enough is going to allow them a full regroup, but Alex gets later Lunar Ultimate, which means it's going to be lasting far longer than Chopped, and now even the Galactic Legend might be enough to be able to turn the tide. Eye of Agamotto from Enzo. The iframe though from Tuesday with the right click means that he avoids it entirely, and the Freedom Charge health bomb means that Chopped have been able to hold on to that position on the objective. They actually get to hold.
Has an open runway onto the back line. There's going to be attempted a resurrection coming through from Melio. Oh, we don't see Melio up above. He was hiding in the rafters, sitting on a beam. And it means that the remainder of Citadel Gaming can come on in now. Soul Bomb going to be used to give over a little bit of additional sustainability, sharing out the damage between all who are present. Enzo's already been taken down, but rezzed up in short order. A quick grabbing of the sentience here means Tuzi is in danger. But look at that healing pool in front of Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder. Crazy Kitty's going to opt to play elsewhere as Tanuki and Ken once more set up.
Sharknado.
Oh, one and done. It always was. Tanuki sings a song on the woodwind instrument of peril. Oh, Citadel Gaming, 2.5 minutes for C.
Okay, instant banning Jeff is looking real good right now. If you're Chopped and we go to a third map, Tanuki on that Storm 2 is going to try and chase down Beetle, but he already repositions before Polly can come on through with the Diamond Plum into Carbon Crush and try and find that elimination and stagger for Citadel Gaming to continue their momentum. Mash has the Invisible Boundary though. Citadel Gaming had to burn the combination last time, so it will be able to find value as Tuzi gets full bubble so he doesn't get hit by that Ultimate and can continue holding this off angle and holding up Galactic Legend.
Ultimate suppressed and strategist lost. DRP forced to disengage as they watch their old captain fall before them. It's a mad dash back to the spawn. You can see that an Aegis shield has already been erected in the doorway to try and stop any outgoing healing.
They're about to have another Jeff Nado.
Oh boy.
Tanuki and Ken are going to be able to get it online, potentially force Mash or DRP into burning their ultimate before we get the Karmic Revival, as Enzo goes aggressive with the Eye of Agamotto directly onto anyone from Chopped who could try and bypass the spawn hold and put themselves onto the objective, forcing Citadel Gaming to fall backwards to that backline. There goes the Meteor M, and it does manage to at least put a little bit of pressure onto Citadel, but unfortunately it doesn't one-shot the Jeff Nado combo, and Tanuki gets 2 once more.
Once more, the Jeff Nado inside the Invisible Boundary is not an ideal matchup here for Tuzi, who will stand alone. Focused fire in onto the back line, but Alex gets plenty of healing from their compatriot in Ken. A trust long forged over years and years worth of scrims. Polly taken down onto the floor, but manages to wrestle Beetle back out of that one. Crazy Kitty on the back line is able to do a huge amount of healing for their compatriots on the healing. However, Melio still sitting, ready to go with the Karmic Revival. That rays of Damocles ready to be bashed down upon Chopped at a moment's notice. Tuzi tries to flee away and manages to break LOS with this one. Enzo gets the solo stun over onto Mash. A follow-up's not there though. It seems like Vertigo and Crazy Kitty are taking good care of their ally who is in desperate peril. Vertigo forced to flee elsewhere, and Polly is just gatekeeping this doorway right now. You can't get past Polly.
Kicking them back into the wall so they can't get past them. Like you said, strategists denied any opportunity to help their vanguards, and Citadel Gaming find the full push.
And the body block on the heels that could come through as well. The charge siege just getting in the way. Oh man, Citadel really showing off one of their niche strategies with the Jeff Nado coming out.
Oh, they had so much damage coming through too. Like Melio, when he was on the Punisher, absolutely melting through a triple Vanguard lineup. The only thing that potentially could have stopped them, because they had to invest so many ultimates in one go, was if Chopped had Adam. And that's exactly why Citadel Gaming removed him from the pool. Because then if you're Chopped, you literally allow Citadel Gaming to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, into an ultimate fight, and then you just hear Born Again off in the distance. And you're up so many ults.
Yeah, I'm just going for the long con when it comes to that. Overall economic disparity. And Chopped, they're going to be down on their potential group play here to try and isolate a Vanguard. So instead, maybe we'll see a Cosmic Fastball out of a spawn here from Beetle. We have seen Beetle play a little bit of the Wolverine, I believe, on Araco previously.
Yes, but this is where the Doctor Strange has been gone. Citadel Gaming were liking to use the Doctor Strange for all of those shields so that they could try and pocket things like that Punisher Now they know if they have the Doctor Strange, it's going to be very vulnerable to the Wolverine. So over we go to things like the Captain America, where you're going to be able to just eternally starlight the objective. I like Crazy Kitty going in on this torch to be able to put so much pressure onto angles from both the strategists, but also Pyro Prison on the actual main road, which means that the Vanguards are going to be taking so much tick damage as already Polly's down.
Very roundabout route here. You can see the distraction in the back. Yeah, Melio was barely perturbed by the Venom dive, but it meant that Polly was going to fall through the cracks elsewhere. Crazy Kitty pops their team up, looking towards the back. Seems the Soul Bond has already been popped, so it's not going to make a huge investment here. But a hot drop into the back now could be exactly what the Doctor ordered. Melio going up against it. There's a follow-up coming through from Tuzi. Light and Dark Karma allows for a momentary reprieve for Alex, healing themselves up. Off the damage done. Polly's returned, and Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder continue on.
We're still having as well a fight for lane control right now. Venom, it's Enzo's turn to try and hold the objective as long as possible and stall Chop's approach. But Chop, with all of these dives, have already been able to build up the ultimate. DRP holds the backlane's entire attention, forcing so many resources with the piece of the abyss. As Ken comes on through with the edge. Jeff, Tuzi's trying to track him down before he can go over the edge, manages to find the pick of the Galactic Legend and still have enough to be able to come on through and force the fate of both worlds.
Okay, but DRP was too far out. Think about where MASH was placed by that Jeff when they were fallen down by the opposing Star-Lord. Bright like a star, proclaims Crazy Kitty. But is the power cosmic going to be enough to break through the walls of this citadel? The protean power of 1,000 forged atoms is laid down at Emma Frost's doorstep, but it's not enough to try and take them down. Instead, it's just going to be a quick flight away by Polly. Tanuki has no such options of disengagement without the movement technologies available, but instead it's just going to come back the long way instead. A quick resurrection given over by Melio. Oh, what an eat coming through from the Jeff. Vertigo doesn't quite have time to get to the edge here, so it's going to be a little bit of a attempted tech off the flight. Did you see that secondary push come through from MASH? That was a crazy attempt at a combo.
They almost got the Atom. Perfect Being doesn't quite have perfect mobility in the game, as Citadel Gaming managed to lose the Atom regardless. A Crazy Kitty on the torch, he was so split away from his players. Polly has to come back in on the Doctor Strange, but Chapter just finding the picks back to back. There isn't really enough reason other than the Sonic Seduction for Citadel Gaming to try and go for a play. They've got to hope that this Emerald Smith is going to be enough, because if it isn't, they're going to be going into second with zero control of space.
No space control here for Citadel. They're going to have to build it up once again, brick by boring brick.
Oh, that's really bad for their Vanguards. They're going to have absolutely no idea what Beetle's going to be playing on this Wolverine until they find out the wrong way. That being said, Beetle, I believe, did manage to get held by the Carbon Crush coming on through from Enzo, but there's enough healing coming on through from Vertigo that he's still going to be able to be living long enough to go for that last time directly into follow-up spam damage from Crazy Kitty, and Chopped aren't slowing down anytime soon, despite Polly trying to stall the objective with his life on the Venom.
Yeah, the only slowing is going to be on the car right now. Admittedly, Polly's doing a quite admirable job in a 1v6.
Citadel Gaming, they've got Fate of both worlds, but they need to use it for the Supernova. Ideally, Galactic Legend is healed through by the It's Jeff, but Chopped also have so much spam pressure coming on through with the torch on the top of it. I don't know if it's going to be enough for Citadel Gaming to be able to hold their own.
Melio is still 30% away from a Karmic Revival as well. That needs to be built up over the course of this one. Supernova once again evoked, and this could be overwhelming for Enzo. Forces out the usage of a Fate of both worlds.
Polly might have to feast now.
Jeff. That's going to be two allies. Grab, no enemies here for the Jefferson. Just going to get them out of danger temporarily. The Galactic Legend Tuzi's hunting. Only seeing Vanguards right now, though, and shields in their way. Ken's been chased out into the healing pool. Gives a momentary reprieve. And Melio goes for a quick res around the outside. Waiting for something around the back. But a self-stun off the back of no grabs means that Ken is going to have to potentially be resurrected. But it's going to take quite the walk from the Adam Warlock to get into that space, and that releases Beetle into the back line. There's a bull in the China shop right now, but he's surrounded by Animal Control. Animal Control were unprepared for the technology of adamantium given over to a raging bull. To the sky goes Tanuki, a legend of his own writing, the Galactic one. In fact, 3 KOs found. The casualties rack on up with 2 minutes remaining for Chopped.
Big wombo coming on through from Tanuki off of the back of the Psionic Seduction from Enzo, so that Chopped had no way of being able to deal with it. DRP actually is going to be swapping over to, I thought maybe the Magneto would stay for that Meteor M to absorb the Galactic Legend coming on through, but the dive has has been finding so much value with DRP. Beetle now offer the Wolverine onto the Captain America. We're going to be introducing another defensive ultimate cycle to the side of Chop's sustainability to go head-to-head with the sustain coming on through from the Adam, Soulbind, and Rez, as the dive is already in full motion and they've already been able to push Tanuki out of position and isolate them from the team.
Unreal tracking from Tuzi, but Chopped their DPS. They have to give up a little bit of space here. That is quite the position from Enzo. It demanded so much attention that Crazy Kitty just fell through the cracks. Bro must have just descended from on high. A heavenly missile of Icarus descending upon Chopped.
Big play from Citadel. They understood that if Tuzi on that solid was going in that deep against Citadel, likely Mash on the Invis woman would also have to be close enough to be able to have LOS for the shield stagger. And off of the back of that, they'd either be able to put pressure onto the Vanguards with the better Carbon Crush coming on through, or hit the backline and force Chop to have to turn their attention away from Citadel Gaming's aggression and onto a defensive option as Crazy Kitty tries to live the dive with the Goddard's boost, but there's not enough follow-up damage, and Polly is able to get through entirely scot-free. Out comes that Venom, also looking for a setup of Feast of the Abyss, potentially damage on boosted by Alex's ultimate, but no, it's just the Venom 1 versus 1 currently to block the doors.
I mean, critically, Vertigo also desynced themselves for potential for a Jeff Nado, so no copy homework this time, Mox.
Oh, Beetle's gonna have freedom charge. Shopta coming in with a lot of these ultimates, but Citadel Gaming, they do have that comic revival. And where that objective has been stalled, even if Chop burn ultimates now to be able to control the objective itself, they still have to win another fight before they get more time. And in overtime against a comic revival, you don't get the opportunity to track down the Adam as aggressively as before. Psionic Seduction and Feast of the Abyss pair from Citadel Gaming. Chop trying to avoid it with freedom charge and that hurricane coming on through from Crazy Kitty. But like we said, that's one fight won. Now they have to worry about what comes next.
Fight number 2, the resurrection's coming forth. Alex and Enzo return to fray, and so too does Polly. A frenzied arrival is announced, and a potential overwhelming of the Star-Lord. Polly finds that one with the Dark Depredations, and Tanuki, just like an AC 130 above, lays down the fire, and Chopped cannot stand up to the force that was levied by Citadel. On their own map pick, Citadel walk away 3-1.
Well, this is deja vu. We've been here before. Citadel's been here before. That was some amazing plays coming on through, and I mean, you could see as well the strength of being able to save that Adam and have one-sided Adam, because they had Soulbind, which meant that they always had a longer defensive rotation, and they also had the Karmic Revival. So Chopped, because they had to burn so much in trying to survive through the choke against a Psionic Seduction and a Feast of the Abyss at the same time, just to get past the Vanguards and onto the objective. We saw Crazy Kitty having to invest the Hurricane so that he didn't get mind controlled and thus taken down by everyone else from Citadel Gaming's side. And from there, Citadel know Chopped might be finding the picks just then, but they're all going to be brought back in a matter of moments. As we can have a look and see so many of these highlights going to be that Sharknado, Jeffnado combo coming on through from Ken and Tanuki, which just made absolute magic happen. Like you said, perfectly counterplaying the invisible boundary and just grabbing everybody out of it. And you're not even impacted by the slow either, because in the Hurricane form, you're CC immune.
No CC. You have to get it burned down by raw damage, and honestly, Chop just didn't manage to leverage the options that would do that. Something like an Iron Man ultimate, potentially. We saw before during a pseudo Jeff Nado meta introduced by Envy, a lot of teams pivoted over to using Invisible Boundary alongside a Punisher ultimate to try and burst through, because he becomes CC immune during that. But it would have just messed with Chop's composition too much to try and make that maneuver.
Tanuki here as well, absolute hero of the moment, alongside Enzo, being able to stall out the momentum coming on through from Chopped with a gorgeous Psionic Seduction to be able to set up for that Galactic Legend, taking full advantage of, well, as that was the moment actually that their entire backline was being hit and accosted by a last stand coming on through from Crazy Kitty on that Wolverine, who'd been able to separate the backline, put enough pressure onto them to have to hold inside that small room, and already forcing out the symbiotic shenanigans and Soulbond from the Adam, knew that he would, with the last stand, have enough damage to find those picks.
Yeah, those double links of both the Soulbond and the Symbiotic Shenanigans, they confer so much survivability. But if you can isolate those shrubs just in a different location where you just don't have the range to get those links on your Vanguard to need a lot more of that raw healing throughput, it can nerf it somewhat. This is shaping up to be an absolute banger. I might get a sense of deja vu if we get to Hall of Jarlia next. It's going to be Chopped's choice, Moxie. We'll find out where we're going after this break. Check your weather app of choice because it's stormy with a chance of sharks. For Jeff Nader reigns supreme for Citadel over on Idris Path, but now there's room for adaptation from Chopped in our best of 5 series, Marks.
Yeah, I strongly expect to see an instant ban on Jeff coming on through before Citadel get an opportunity to be able to save him, especially if we see that Chopped continue trying to lean into these 2-2-2 compositions, because as we said, the traditional line for a 2-2-2 format in stage 2 of meta is Luna and Invis, and Jeff Nader unfortunately directly prevents Invisible Boundary from being able to find absolutely anything that it's looking for. Plus, it really does stop a lot of the traditional storm counters from coming on through, as it is going to be Convergence that we head to, but it's not going to be Hall of Dajalia. And there indeed is the instant ban of the Jeff that we expected. Chop say enough, get this out of here. We don't care if Jeff doesn't have environmental points on Symbiotic Surface, we just want him gone.
This does offer up the potential for a one-sided Mantis here. That's what you give away when you ban the Jeff first. Gonna be the first Protect coming through from Chop. Oh, okay. Well, the first missing a Protect is not the worst thing.
I was gonna say, if they'd missed the Jeff ban, that would have been worse.
Yes.
100% that would have been worse, because Citadel would have been laughing as they picked Jeff into the save. Citadel now going to be banning out that Ultron, so if Chopped want to go for something like a Torch play and just play the ring around the roses of the natural cover to be able to, on the defensive right, prevent the attackers from taking that high ground, that Torch is going to be significantly weaker. Also puts a lot more pressure onto Match if he does go for something like the Invisible Woman to have to play within LOS of his duelists, as Citadel are indeed going to punish and go for that save onto the Mantis, because Chopped went for the ban onto the Jeff instead.
And now without a first Protect here, there's a good chance that we could even see a Jeff ban as well come through from the side of Citadel. Like, missing a Protect isn't the worst thing in the world, just because it doesn't inherently allow more bans from the other side. It just gives more options for what those bans could be. Speaking of which, Adam taken away, and now we have simultaneous bans.
Yeah, Chopped very much remembering the convergent strategy that Citadel Gaming had before, where they utilized that Adam and the Jeff and the 2 links to fully walk aggressively onto Chopped within the first fight, and guarantee that they picked up 2 ticks incredibly quickly, as indeed there goes the ban onto the Jeff, but Chopped are going to be able to mirror the Ultron ban. The Citadel Gaming did not save it, instead going for the Mantis, which is going to have a lot of all-round damage boost. I wonder, does this mean that we see a Star-Lord ban potentially come on through from the side of Chopped, because Galactic Legend would be built up incredibly quickly if so. It also puts a lot more pressure onto them for having something like the Invisible Woman, because even though Invisible Boundary gets stopped by the Jeff Nado, it stops Galactic Legend incredibly well.
All right, there goes the Hulk, taking that away from Enzo's pool, not wanting to deal with the Gamma Namor potentially, and the Protect on the Adam here for Chopped. So we are going to have the Karmic Revival in the back pocket if necessary. And now Citadel, without the option to ban the Adam, they go instead for the Phoenix, getting rid of that major source of damage.
Yeah, not just that, Mag had also been able to make it through despite not being picked or banned. That means that you want to remove the wombo combo potential of Ensong Inferno plus Meteor M being able to find eliminations even through Strategist Ultimates. In Citadel Gaming, it looks like they're going to be going for that free Strategist line, but it's not one that we normally get to see a whole lot of. Melio and Ken are actually going to be able to get that Vibrant Vitality team up coming on through for the Deific Blessing for that Loki, which means damage boost and wider AoE spreads of the regeneration domain. There's going to be a lot of front-loaded damage coming on through from Citadel Gaming side.
Yeah, we had a quick talk to Level 1 Crook after their match against, I believe, VP about how he felt about the Vibrant Vitality team-up for the Loki. General consensus seems to be, at least for Na'Vi, that it is an excellent way to try and make your dives not only a little bit more sustainable, utilizing the healing and essential immortality that those greens provide, but also the surprising burst and the wider AoE means that they can roam around a little bit more and get a bit more chase.
They also let Chop take the Adam Warlock, so potentially can also manages to find a copy onto the Adam, so you can still get a revive. Though Alex being on the Lina also makes for a great copy target, as we can see Tanuki currently getting absolutely damage boosted to symbiotic surface and back on that Phoenix. Already 15% off of just a stray couple of shots hit on Chop Stack.
Oh, the ping was given over. I think the information was gathered by Polly. Gets pulled in after using the symbiotic resilience. You can see that Ken pre-positioned a clone there in case they didn't use the emergency greens, but that's not going to be necessary this time around.
True, but Citadel Gaming have already been able to counter-rotate into Chopped, who are going to be trying to levy the high ground advantage, developing the angle for their Nemo, but Tuzi's coming under so much pressure. The damage boost onto the Venom. The Mag is going to be stacked with the backline and will be able to peel it, but Enzo now moves into position and tries to punish the lack of metallic curtain.
And the damage boost on the Venom also changes the calculus with how you try and deal with something. Oh, look at that green right there. Just no need to even pop the symbiotic resilience. Dealing with Venom's ultimate is going to get a little bit more weird here. Guardian Shield given over. A two-player flank coming through from the side of Chopped. Tanuki does have all of the damage boost though to try and roll this one down. And Melio getting aggressive in their own right. The Mantis. It's natural anger and it's healthy.
Not just that, but Melio is going to be able to essentially just stack damage boosts and only damage boosts. Oh, the stall. Oh, the diamond kick as well coming on for back-to-back as well on the puny banner. So that Chopped all the more have to wait for their Vanguard to come back through, because here's the thing that they need to try and make a play for these high ground angles and develop that space for Tuzi to take control. Without the Hulk, they're forced into just waiting for him, something that Tanuki knows and is going to just be able to dash on up and get a couple of stray shots coming on through to quicker build up the ultimate.
A damage boosted Feast of the Abyss could be on the cards. Forcing out the Blessing of the Deep early here could be critical for the side of Citadel as well, knowing that Namor is vulnerable for the next 15 seconds or so.
Chopped are going to try and split angle this at the moment, but Citadel Gaming see the absence of the Hulk, know that the bubbles aren't going to be there, and off angle themselves. Tanuki's been able to find a very lethal in onto match to the point that they're forced into using the Lina ultimate to try and live. Out comes the End Song Inferno. Is it going to be able to find its target? Will be able to connect with the ground, but there wasn't follow-up damage in the form of the Feast of the Abyss. Citadel Gaming, though, going to try and live. Big exile onto Melio. Beetle breaking it at the exact moment that Tuzi's inner circle of the Horn of Proteus to directly connect onto the Mantis and take them down in one go.
An Eldritch offering to some Protean god. Alex forced to use their own ultimate here. Hulk ready to turn it around with the breaking of the worlds. Maybe a damage boost here for Polly, but no, I think that the Mantis is too far away. You could instead go for the one off the back of the Fate of Both Worlds, but the timing wasn't quite there. Maybe a little bit of shielding given on over. Polly frozen up. Beetle taken back to their regular green form. Tanuki reigns above it all with a damage boost and a dream going up against the Namor, but there's so much healing ready for the King of the Oceans, but Tanuki has to back on off for a second longer. Can only really survive a little bit longer. Tanuki getting in real close here. Look at all the resources being given over to the Namor here. The carry has been allocated and the resources have been given. DRP trying to do their best to just stand up against the tide being brought forth here by Ken. Polly's going to be alone in the back but can easily disengage. In comes Giganto. A stun on to Ken, who's taken back down to their low-key form. Enzo dancing around as best they can, putting on a show for liberty here. But Democracy can't stand up to this nautical mastermind, and Tuzi reigns over them all.
Yeah, Tuzi on this Namor has been absolutely integral to Chop's composition right now. Plus, they're going to be able to lay stake to that high ground already. Beetle developing that space already up there on that Hulk, guarding it away so that Citadel Gaming can't already position themselves to pressure Tuzi into utilizing that Blessing of the Deep a little bit early, as we can see him going head-to-head against Polly, just providing a little bit of extra healing coming on through from Vertigo to build up the invisible boundary.
Yeah, Polly just doing their soft dives as best they can, forcing out things like the indestructible guard. Enzo rolling on forward now. Doesn't really have much charge to try and work with. DRP ready to catch the aggression. The Meteor Ram onto both Ken and Alex. Oh, they must have used their greens earlier. Maybe a little bit more greedy to try and facilitate a dive. Vertigo gets traded, but I think the damage has already been done. The healing simply isn't there. All they can do is sacrifice themselves onto the cart. What's Tanuki cooking here? Not entirely sure what Bro's up to. Gonna send it on down. Obviously, the 400 gets burst through rather quickly in the midst of all of this. Tanuki is going to be able to get out of there somehow.
Yeah, he gets to use Ensong Inferno to get a second health bar coming on through, potentially force as well Soulbind. Crazy Kitty doesn't actually buy into it. Beetle, though, gets taken out of Hulk form, and Tanuki still up on that high ground, keeping up the pressure onto Chop's players.
Remember, onto those Loki clones, you get easy squid berserks off the back of it, easy headshots onto him. Still, Tuzi didn't see the off angle coming through from the Phoenix. A 2 versus 1, it was unfair, but it's unfair to be returned to life after all. Crazy Kitty takes that one on. Down multiple players, crossing the path of Enzo, means spinning kicks abound. A soul resurgence to bring Citadel Gaming back into the force, and that's going to be the Horn of Proteus. Not really able to get too much there. Beetle tried to corral players inside, but the shepherding was ignored. Over to the World Breaker Hulk, knowing that almost over is the reign of the Lunar Snow. The greens are brought on out. A damaging strike from a Phoenix, yes, but not much gained in the form of casualties. A forced disengagement now for DRP, and I think that Beetle might be a little bit too deep in to try and survive this one. Could actually try and grab someone on their way out, but has to be careful not to be staggered in that banner form. Enzo needs to just dodge away as best they can with the Carbon Crush as the remainder of Chops roll forward.
With Beetle still in the backline of Citadel Gaming, stuck inside that banner form. DRP does have that Meteor M though, something that Ken is going to have to really closely watch for when he goes for this copy onto the Luna's Fate of both worlds. Poly with that Venom Feast of the Abyss, sees where the Magneto is going to be. Can Tanuki manage to dodge this? No, he can't. Regeneration Domain already going to be coming in through from Citadel so that they can go for that premature copy onto that Luna. They've still got the time. Now comes the Fate of both worlds to push the team forward and potentially find the damage boost for the Feast of the Abyss.
AoE a touch too strong. Melio rolling forward, becoming a duelist once again in their own right. Damage boost onto the Feast of the Abyss. Crazy Kitty had dreams of resurrection, but Gethsemane this is not, and he's shut down in short order. Crazy Kitty reses themselves. In comes the portal. There's going to be a last-second recontest courtesy of the Sorcerer Supreme. The Pentagram of Farala is opened, and the body block is shied on by here. Vertigo could be knocked out of their own ultimate and potentially burst on through it whenever healing's not the most, even post-buff. Tanuki's getting up close and personal. The Premier Melee DPS has made themselves known on the point. Tuzi's already down, floating above it all. An Imperious Overlord has no magnanimous designs, but the 400 HP is easily burned on through. Chod put themselves in a corner, and Beetle's back on the emergency deployment of the Wolverine. They need to stay on the point at all times. Mash and Vertigo, not an option. Ken takes to the skies themselves. A spreading of wings as Icarus looks down upon the nations that one day said that he would never fly. Citadel, hold on second.
So the worry for Chopped coming in now is that Citadel Gaming have so much damage boost potential. When we go to the 6 versus 6 and it becomes a brawl for space, Citadel Gaming are going to be able to have such a huge lead in terms of the duelist fights. Tuzi is going to have to be so crazily pocketed from his team. He's already getting things like the Flake coming on through, as well as the Guardian Shield that Vertigo and Mash are doing a very good job of being able to sustain this Namer and make sure that he gets to hold on to those angles and keep up the pressure with things like the Monster Spawns. But Citadel Gaming now have Mantis on the attack to be able to damage boost their Vanguards, which is going to force Chop's attention to have to turn around and deal with them, and that's going to free up the space significantly for Tanuki to basically do whatever he wants.
Even with Tanuki getting all these resources, it's Polly walking away with the MVP. You can just get so much off a Feast of the Abyss with even a minor damage boost coming through from something like a Mantis. And Melio is giving those out in spades. When you've got Alex and Ken behind you, you don't really need to use the healing sports that often.
It's Loki Luna, 2 burst heals coming on through, 2 full just will be able to heal you all the way up. Like you said, Mantis does not need to hold on to those seeds to be able to use them for any form of healing. It is just damage boost, damage boost, damage boost. As Tanuki, the full pocket has been given. Damage boost from the Mantis, idle aura from the Luna. They're making a player ready for this high ground to try and force Chops into burning some of these resources, but they have to do so in staggered stages. We have to first deal with Soulbind.
All in onto the young prodigy of Tanuki, who takes a little gaze into the abyss that's offered by Chopped already. The Adam Warlock falling low, but of course live streams are aplenty here. Crazy Kitty just having to dodge away as best they can. Look at the double squids around the outside. The off-angle provided here by Beetle and Tuzi needs to be addressed.
Big play from Polly, though, was able to intercept where Chopped was looking to disengage from. And that means that Chopped have no place of safety. They have to try and roll the side. There goes the Soulbind, but Enz has been able to close up the distance. And this room is claustrophobic as it is, becomes an absolute horror show against an Emma with a diamond kick.
So the thing about the Soulbind is that it shares out the damage, but if you are occupying the same pixel and both getting hit by the same attack, it does nothing.
Yeah, Citadel Gaming, just absolute textbook. We'll break down that dive a little bit more in depth when we finish this map, as we have to deal with Polly trying to get out the regeneration domain from Ken. We'll be able to save the Venom, and means that he doesn't have to give up his position too. So Chop once more denied an angle for their Namor, which is going to allow Citadel to continue pushing this objective entirely unimpeded.
Oh, one of the primary concerns was keeping that Namor up, and well, Tanuki doesn't want to allow that to happen. A huge overlaying of utility, both for Soul Bond and the invisible boundary, and yet it's still unsurvivable against Fatide. Citadel Gaming are ringing up upon Chopped, and already there's movement on the cart. Polly's actually having trouble getting out of here. Might be able to make a mad dash.
Citadel Gaming, do you know that Crazy Kitty is going to have Karmic Revival? In spite, the problem for them is that Crazy Kitty used the self-revive in the fight before, and they're going to be able to play aggressively forward with the Sonic Seduction. Chopped have to burn theirs first to pull out of the high ground, and just gets kicked back into oblivion before he can fall from the high ground onto the objective, and that's symbiotic surface.
I mean, the Emma was just disintegrated, reduced to atoms, up against both Enzo, who became CC immune using the diamond form, and a damage boosted Tanuki doing the melee cancels. Even the strongest of diamonds feel even more pressure. Citadel going 2-1. And well, this was Chopped map choice. Once again, and Citadel stole it away.
29 assists from Melio on the Mantis.
Yep. Checks out.
Like, yeah, he only did 8,000 healing, but as we already covered, he's not going to be healing for the majority of time. He's just going to be damage boosting his players, and when he can literally just damage boost every single one of them almost on the team, not only are they going to be able to have significant lead in terms of ultimate economy, they're also going to be able to have significant lead in the neutral. That was what I was worried about. It wasn't so much about how good is the defense going to be, it's going to be about how uncontested is this attacking going to be, because Chopped, the second they lost momentum, there was no way other than just dumping all of their ultimates that they would be able to regain it. We saw that every single time Citadel saw that they had that high ground hold for Tanuki, they knew that they could take the fight against Tuzi and always come out on top.
I think there's some of our official evidence for the potency of the Melio Mantis as well. Obviously, Mantis usually permabanned, wasn't too sure who would be playing it on this roster, but Melio certainly seems to be getting a lot of value out of it. Of course, when you've got a Giga Aimer in the neutral with Mantis, she does a considerable amount of damage.
Look at
sharing it with
this
damage from the Soul Bond means that they get hit even more because extra players take damage, and while you were trying to concentrate all your healing in on the Adam and the Invis, when extra players are taking damage from that end song, it means it can hit those breakpoints that usually you'd be able to survive.
Yeah, something to note as well, it's really smart how they tried to go into the invisible boundary. They went for 2 ultimates that have 1 hit of damage. Feast of the Abyss, 1 hit, Endsong Inferno also going to be coming on through, trying to catch that 180 heals per second tick in between the seconds to make sure that they didn't have to stack more damage on top to be able to find those eliminations.
Yeah, it was great planning there from Citadel, but Chopped are far from out of it yet. Domination is going to be available as our map pool is once again reset, apart from a match we played so far. We'll find out where Chopped want to take us after this break.
stomping all those fighting souls. But yet, across the world, I see you standing in my way. And remember the time, the place we used to fight, like the sun and moon. And I wonder if ever there was a time that we were friends. The night has fallen, shadows looming, and yes, that time has come for me to seek you out. We are set now for our last reunion. Break the chains, find your way, come find me. Do you remember who you really are? Show me that you are still the only one for me. I'll be waiting for you. Blink and hoping your rise, raising up your fists and smashing through solid walls. Before the rift splinters again, we are rebels till the end. Rise and hoping your mind, hold on to your powers. No one can stop us. We are rivals till the end of time. We will flash, no matter where. We will fight, reaching across time and space. 'Cause you are my destiny to the end.
Is a map 5 on the horizon here between Chopped and Citadel, or is this going to be some good, honest, salt-of-the-earth, blue-collar 3-1 Marvel rivals? We'll find out as Chopped are going to take us to what could be their last map in the group stage.
Yeah, we finally found the composition that has enough damage to be able to break through all of the sustainability that one-sided Adam brings. And surprise, surprise, it's damage boosted Mantis with Loki damage boosting. But you know, just an extra little bit of damage boost on top, plus the Luna damage boost too. Like, it's kind of crazy that Citadel through the ban draft were able to secure themselves not just one form of damage boost, but 3, which really did mean that that Phoenix was absolutely frying every single time we went to Snooki's POV.
Yeah, like, you just do so much damage. When you're building up by Smash, you get into melee as well, and you're doing even more because for some reason she's the best melee duelist in the game. It's just ludicrous, honestly. And like, melee is pumping out the damage on the Mantis as well. You can really throw it out on the Mantis, and you get rewarded for how well your aim scales with each of the headshots refreshing a life spore, so
yeah,
you know that melee is going to be getting more spores than your average Mantis.
True, and Chopped kind of got punished as well. They tried to play this Hulk Namor to have just so much spam damage and try and pick apart Citadel when they were looking for rotations, plus Namor being able to control the off angles with things like the Invis Woman, the Guardian Shield, but that meant that they had a majority of their players stacked up so they could receive things like the AoE healing from the Guardian Shield and also
Science solves problems. Hulk and I, we're a team.
Seconds before you attack. Get ready.
I'm hulking out!
Lost track of how many times we've done this over the decades, Namor.
You have always proven to be a trusted ally, Logan.
Unless we're counting all the times we've been on opposite sides of the fight.
True. In that case, it's a miracle either of us managed to leave you.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
If the timelines are touched again, I wonder which version
The
assist.
Mantis strikes.
Help, friends.
Our enemies are here. Friends, gather around. Us against the world. You're halfway there. Keep going.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
You want to sleep?
Disappear.
A shield? That'll work.
Get that thing moving again. See them? Right there. I can be reckless now.
I trust you to deliver the sacred tablet.
It's okay. Admit it. You need me. Friends, gather around. We need to keep on. I'm impervious to damage. Let's romp this thing. Focus on the battle. Almost there. Don't turn back now.
May you find peace.
The vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
2 attacks in a row. That's fun.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Freedom's an idea that will never die. Freedom's an idea that will never die.
Uncle Gaming, who the heck?
I am Groot.
We're in hope. Who's that? Is that young?
I am Groot.
Game has not
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready. The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I am Groot.
Focus on the battle.
I am Groot.
I'll do what's needed to win this, even if it doesn't mean taking out enemy allies.
Help get that vehicle to its destination.
I am Groot.
I don't know what the Iron Man's doing.
You're halfway there. Keep going.
Behold the god of
Rest easy now, sweet.
How can a thunder?
Almost there. Don't turn back now.
You get a weapon, you get a weapon, you get a weapon!
Jeez, easy though.
The vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Just you will introduce me to the Weaver?
Hostile ahead.
I am Groot.
This is real firepower!
Help, friends. You're halfway there. Keep going.
Confidence will destroy you.
I am Groot. I am Groot.
Armed and dangerous! Assemble!
They have been seen and they will not escape.
Render me assistance.
Sorry, I am too tempted to do this.
Get that vehicle moving again.
Time to go berserker.
You needed some help, didn't you?
I am wounded.
We're close. We're running out of time.
Let's do this. Don't mean routine, got it?
For breaking your beacon, Ryder.
Stand down! Never stood a chance.
The vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
I have many faces.
The Wolverine don't go down that easy.
This is real firepower!
So much
Bring
for
on
rocket
the chaos.
friends. Gather around.
Coming at you. My claws can cut through almost anything, darling. Want to put some money on it?
It pleases me to be helpful.
Hail, fellow warrior.
Oh, hi.
Here comes your mine.
Don't let anything stand in your way.
Armed and dangerous! Needed a little boost. Thanks.
So close. This is your big chance.
Got your back, bub. Again! Some extra healing never hurt. Again!
Another epic victory. Big win.
I see 3 tanks. I have to roll. Can't believe RAM is down though. This battery is warm up. Wow.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Match. Yeah, Divey Dive is beautiful to watch, but it's also hard to watch. Big shout outs to our observers here at Ignite. Managing to catch that map so perfectly that we really understood what was going on at all times. And you know what? Sometimes you rage bait with emotes and you do actually get them angry. Sometimes you don't want them angry though, Marks. Sometimes that's a dangerous proposition.
Well, the torch as well. Crazy Kitty and Tuzi. So many times we see just teams go for something that is entirely undiveable. Ultron is one. However, Citadel removed Ultron from the pool, understanding that he would be making that dive's life an absolute misery, as well as the Black Panther too. If they want to run Black Panther at any point in that map, Ultron had to be given the boot almost immediately. And huge props as well to Chop for being able to survive the Black Panther. They gave up the Loki, something that they actually protected. They went for the Mantis, they went for the Loki. They saw how much value it was getting from Citadel before, essentially tried to go for front-loaded damage composition, saw it wasn't working, and actually had the game knowledge and humility to say, okay, this was a mistake, let's swap. And they won the map off of that swap.
The pinnacle of EMEA is delivering as promised in our top 4 teams. Chopped certainly has earned their space despite being a newer team. Map 5 awaits. It's Citadel's choice, and it's coming after this break.
We are undefeatable!
Never have I seen 2 teams go so hard in a seeding match, but when the reward is dodging FaZe, you very much have to put in the effort, because FaZe are coming out of Group B as our 3rd seed, which means presumably our 2nd seed from here in Group A would face them at the beginning of the bracket for playoffs, and that's a scary prospect. But even scarier is the prospect of dropping your 5-map series, and now Citadel get to choose where we conclude our Gigabanger.
Yeah, I will say at least it hasn't been a reverse sweep. Like, there's something a little bit more taxing on the mind about being up 2 maps and then fumbling the bag 2 times in a row, and then going into the 5th one with that playing on your mind, essentially going, we could have won this, we could have finished this out, we should have won this, and then tilt's gonna start coming into play, right? And you can't afford to tilt at this point in the game. You just have to go, okay, that was that game, that was that round, this was the band draft, and we're going to be changing this about our band draft coming in, and now we're just going to continue trying to play our own game. And that's something that Citadel have always been known for, both when they were under the name of Berber Patapim, and then when they got picked up to Citadel, they didn't really care about what was meta. They made their own meta, as we got to see with things like the Black Panther. So if we do go to something like Call of Dujalia, I feel like we're probably going to be seeing something a little bit different to what we would traditionally see. Maybe they go back over to that Hulk Namor to try and control some more of those off angles against the Flyers, but that's my worry, Harry. Any of the convergence maps that are left, Central Park or Call of Dujalia, are really good Flyer maps, and I mean, they just lost to a Flyer composition. That Human Torch Star-Lord swap was huge from Chopped.
Yeah, maybe they don't opt in for that, knowing just what's waiting on the other side. Like, Tuzi's really scary on these Crazy Kitty. Also, amazing to pivot over on to the Human Torch. Having 2 good Human Torch players on a team does mean that, like, it's very hard to preempt you when it comes to your map picks here. And for Citadel, it's going to be all about just, like, gathering their own, like, chakras a little bit as well. You know that Salah's going to be making them do a simultaneous clap to try and get on the same page, but...
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one. We are close.
I will bring...
Who are you calling a raccoon, huh?
Force burst. 30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Hey, Hawkeye, we gonna save the world?
We better.
Yeah, I like that enthusiasm.
Music makes people happy. Heroes make them sing.
It's always
Maybe
nice
I can
teaming
do
up with
both.
old friends.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready to capture the available area and extract some goodies? Let's go!
I prefer teams of 4, but I can make this work.
Our enemy comes up.
A nice deep freeze.
I'm hurt.
Feeling good.
I'm making a comeback. Over here, I can heal you. Be strong together.
Uh-oh! The other team is extracting those resources!
I was worried. A nice deep freeze. We're finding our groove.
Thanks, pal.
Much better.
Watch out! They got a sniper! Woo, that's the stuff!
Sniper to worry, there goes one of them.
The other team is extracting those resources.
Be strong together.
Heads up! The other team is ready to rumble! All gone. You should probably head to the next available area. Great job! You're loading up on resources! Oh yeah! Your team is ready to rumble, baby! You've got competition! Clear the enemies to extract more resources!
We are undefeatable! I am ready to put on a show! Feeling fantastic. Shields up! Sorry, no escaping us now. Disappear! A sniper! Snowball fight!
You've got competition! Clear the enemies to extract more resources!
I'm back in the fight.
The other team is extracting those resources!
You get a weapon! You get a weapon! You
A
get a
nice
weapon!
deep freeze.
Fear Magneto!
Whoa! They're halfway to victory! Don't let them get more resources!
That one hurts.
Take off!
A little healing to kill. I was worried.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
I've still got songs to sing. Without Ty, I wouldn't know the real power of the light force.
Plasma?
Resources are nearly tapped out here, too. Sorry.
Oh, they do not.
Maybe needs help.
Now I'm the one who needs healing.
I'm a better sniper.
Just in time.
This was Dr. Orr.
Not good! They're getting closer to victory! Fantastic! The rumble phase is about to begin!
My time to shine. You owe me one.
Watch out! They got a sniper!
My time to shine.
Great job! You're loading up on resources! Uh-oh! The other team is extracting those resources! You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner!
Us against the
We
world!
are undefeatable! My time to shine.
Lights out. Fear Mag...
Well, you can't expect to win them all. You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
I'm not anyone's sidekick. What I do is best done alone.
I tear through the cloudless night, just like the moon. Khonshu has guided me this far. I trust him.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
God of darkness. Hooray. The worst part about white costumes? The bloodstains. Am I right?
I wouldn't know. I don't fight to hurt people. I fight to heal them.
Well, when I'm done here, you'll have plenty of folks to heal. Trust me.
Something tells me I should start with you.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
Khonshu seems to be enjoying the end of all that is a bit too much. There, ahead, I found them. Great, alright, that feels better. Gone from sight. A gift from Khonshu. Whew, almost didn't make it again. The moon haunts you. Come on, Khonshu. Let me rest.
I don't know why they're all wet.
Help! So cold!
Love battlefield medicine.
I am Phoenix!
Thank you very much.
Disappear!
Rise and fall.
Sorry.
Submit! Weakling! Help get that vehicle to its destination.
Everybody needs a hand sometimes.
Love battlefield medicine. Thank you very much. The moon haunts you. New moon shadow. Vengeance is served.
Armed and dangerous! Again!
Get up, my fist.
A thousand gods!
Get that vehicle moving again!
A distant attacker. They must be
Get up, my fist.
Make haste. If we do not save fast soon, Wakanda will fall.
The moon is bright. Khonshu's hunt is about to begin. Shadow. Love battlefield medicine. Get up, my fist.
Get that vehicle moving again!
Just embrace the light.
Time grows very short. T'Challa, we are coming.
Off you very
Armed and dangerous!
Weakling! Disappear!
Vengeance is served.
Plasma!
Love battlefield medicine.
A thousand gods!
Rise and
I am Phoenix!
One of our foes.
Fear Magneto!
Thank you very much.
Tandy needs help.
Get that vehicle moving again!
Better.
Only 60 seconds left!
Ready for some sweet, sweet vengeance.
Wakanda needs us to move faster.
The moon haunts you.
Double KO! That's 3!
I'm good to go.
Down to 30 seconds!
Still not dead.
There's no time to wait. Hit them with everything. Yari, yari! This is a critical mission. Move it.
Get that vehicle
Armed
moving
and
again!
dangerous! Again! Again!
Shadow.
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner!
Plasma?
Still not dead. Keep moving. We've got an intergalactic empire to save.
Well...
Nah.
From taking a position on the high ground and pressuring that torch, and Supernova's going to split the entirety of the team. The backline on the Vanguards carved apart entirely.
DRP flattened against the wall. The Poly just cut down instead. Pyro Prism drawn on up here by Tuzi. Enzo unable to really convert into any mind control off the back of the Sonic Seduction. Tanuki looking for something grabbing, and that's going to be Beetle taken within his claws, but you still got to worry about the Flora Colossus moving this entire time, which is why Tanuki's making an effort to try and roll onto that instead and stop it in its tracks in the underpass.
Ken has invisible boundary. Melio and Polly trying desperately to build up their ultimates to be able to combine them against Mashes, but it is a matter of moments before Chopped will be able to hit that finishing line, because like you said, the objective's still firmly under their control, but Citadel Gaming abandoning the point fight over the top of it, going to the underpass means that Tuzi's movement has been limited, but it sets up Beetle perfectly to catch on to both Ken and Enzo. No opportunity to use the invisible boundary because the Invis was stuck, clutched between the Wolverine's paws.
Does at least mean the invisible boundary is going to be ready for the last fight here.
Yeah, and to mirror Mashes, but Chopped, they have to use this Lunar Ultimate and Rage of Ultron potentially to try and survive, because they've got the Wombo combo. They're going to have their piece of the Abyss. They're going to have the last stand to try and pull everyone from Chopped out of it. The question is, can they manage to get anybody onto the convoy past the Wolverine?
Oh, Wolverine grabbed out here, isolated, forces out the passive already, but the sustainability is still going to be there. A prison has been erected here by Tuza to try and trap in that back line, and Polly's still got some space to work with on the cart and the Feast of the Abyss on the backhand side. Mash brings up the invisible boundary. The healing's good for Chopped. They've got their numbers on the point, and Enzo's been brought back by the battle recall beacon. Beetle getting up close and personal already, 69% of the way towards another nice ultimate, as they're dragged on forward once again by the auspices of a lunar snow. Plenty of healing given over by Alex, but thus far we are without casualty in this fight. Sonic Seduction, I think it was stunned on out there by Enzo. Oh, the last Sam towards the back. Oh, it's a meteor strike onto Alex from the stars above. Comes a very angry Canadian, and his rage sustains him. It drags him forwards, and it drags us to extra rounds, surely. As Citadel are thin on the floor. They don't have the numbers, they don't have the sustainability, and they don't have the wherewithal to defend as we go to extra rounds. There was no other way that this series could have gone.
Was that Beetle the only way? I'm scratching my head trying to figure this out because we didn't get the Emma's POV. It must have been a Wolverine Feral Leap.
Could have been a freeze.
Maybe a freeze from Vertigo as well. It was either a grab from the Wolf or a freeze from the Luna coming on through, because if that Sonic Seduction had come on out, Citadel Gaming win that.
No other way to put it. Would have suppressed all the ultimates as well. Meant that Beetle wouldn't have had options to try and cover that distance towards Alex.
Would have put so much pressure onto Tuzi as well on that torch, because there would be no way for the torch to be able to avoid all of that incoming damage.
Man, I gotta shout out Vertigo once again. Being able to survive the damage boosted Feast of the Abyss and Ensong Inferno at once by just do-si-doing around that pole on second. Unreal value from the Luna.
He went to dance class, you know, and absolutely aced it with those shoes. Oh boy, we are going down to the wire. We said it was potentially going to be a 5-mapper. It's not just a 5-mapper. It's 3 rounds of domination, multiple times, and overtime rounds in Convoy. Who will be able to take the win? Citadel Gaming did manage to stall Chopped for an awfully long time, but so too did they get stalled out as well. As now it becomes an absolute race. You've only got a minute, so you have to start in a composition which you're going to be able to follow on through. And Chopped think that they're going to be able to find it with, once again, the Wolverine and the Torch trying to take so much pressure onto that backline, so at least they can start moving this convoy forward.
Never let your ranked teammates tell you that Ultron Invis isn't enough healing. Tanuki spreads out the damage with the Blaster Barrage, but up here in the sky, it's just a raw damage duel between the Flyers. Eventually, Tanuki runs out of fuel, and so too will run out of HP. Tuzi up close and personal. I think that Tanuki might have had some momentum carried through there.
Does Polly now go for the teleport onto the high ground or onto the actual point? You can see Tuzi trying to figure out where this portal is going to be so he can set up a Pyro Prison and immediately activate it so that everyone comes out into that tick down. But no, it will be the high ground rather than the objective, so it's still going to be picking up distance as the fight continues.
Tanuki with a double pivot. First to the Phoenix and now over to the Wolverine instead. Looking for one of these more vulnerable vanguards, knowing that the raw healing for triage is not really going to be there. Chopped still rolling forward though. There isn't really that much contestation happening when it comes to this point. In overtime though, they always need someone. Tanuki falls down limply to the floor. Beetle grabs out Enzo, gets kicked away in a spin, but still undeterred. Has the passive, has the audacity to move on forward. And yes, Tanuki has been resurrected. Might have been able to grab themselves a jump pack on the way out as well. Tuzi flying through with the flame clusters up close and personal to Melio, an attempt to try and shut down the Rage of Ultron, but the invisible boundary is going to be doing just that instead, as Melio is forced elsewhere, taken to the skies. Tuzi rains down the fire. Oh, grab from the sky by Tanuki, but the healing's going to be there. The pocket's always there for Tuzi, the star of the show for Chopped. They're always ready to invest. Beetle can't play connect onto this one, never mind, turns around, grabs Tanuki out of midair. Aya Magamoto stuns 3, Mash, Beetle, DRP all have souls separated from their corporeal forms as Polly comes in as the hero that's needed. There's still an invisible boundary on the backhand side if Alex decides to use it. Slowed down now is Beetle as Tuzi tries to race back towards the point. Triage is required, moving forth into the battle space, and the damage is there, but the contestation is not. Chopped are pulled from the point, and Citadel have their win condition.
Chopped got so close to getting that first point off of how one-sided the first couple of brawls were. Citadel Gaming, they couldn't really afford to go for the convoy stall either if it was just one of their players trying to hold that ground, because Chopped just had so much angle control up in the sky on the aerial with things like the Ultron and the Torch. When we got to see ultimates come into play though, the Eye of Agamotto being able to stun up enough players for them to build into the invisible boundary one-sided too, since Chopper used theirs before, to be able to try and heal through that Rage of Ultron coming on out. That was the turning factor. And now Citadel Gaming, they have a task ahead of them. That convoy got incredibly far forward for the little time bank Chopped had active, and we can see that Chopped, they're gonna make this incredibly painful. Getting any form of distance is gonna be like pulling teeth. Captain America, Magneto, Rocket Raccoon, so if one person falls prematurely, they get brought back. Invis and Ultron to be able to pocket each other if Citadel try and go for the wraparound rotation and pressure the rocket and burn the BRB early.
Well, when it comes to pulling teeth, you look for the tough. And Citadel Gaming certainly are a tough squad if ever I've seen one. Can't afford to get Tanuki insta-picked once again, though. And that's why they might be rolling out of a different door to avoid the incoming assault of the Ultron.
What I worry though is that Chopped have already fielded a Doctor Strange. If Citadel Gaming target focus the Doctor Strange late so that he can't actually portal back, they're gonna get a lot of distance off of this convoy for free.
Well, Beetle's going to be trying to stop that one. Instantly grabbed out here by the Emma Frost. The Carbon Crush starts off the cart rolling here, and Beetle once again returns to the fray. Remember, going close to those Thornlash walls make things a little bit more complicated. DRP going up against the shotgun of the Punisher. This really is a lot of damage to try and deal with. Crazy Kid has already fallen on down. He's surely going to be coming back with a portal, but the cart's...
No, BRB. He gets BRB brought back instead, which means he's just gonna get picked again. He gets stunned out by the ammo with the Carbon Crush, and Citadel Gaming will be able to continue pushing on forward for Chopped. It just becomes a matter of trying to stall this objective long enough for them to come and prove the Rage of Ultron and potentially pull the fight back.
Tuzi popping the Rage of Ultron. Polly's up top. This could be a big strangling prison coming through from the top rope, but I don't know if the remainder of the team are really in a position to try and capitalize on it, so it's held in reserve for now. Beetle taken down. The BRB is gone again. This is going to force maybe a movement through the teleport, but no, given a quick stun, Tuzi has to be reset. Crazy Kid again, they have to do the same to teleport back the remainder of the team.
Look at the distance in comparison to what Chopped, because the fights went on the objective itself. We're about to head into overtime, and Citadel Gaming, yes, they're coming in with 6 ultimates. This has to be a team wipe though. Otherwise, the distance is going to be into 2 stagger fights.
Oh, they could be trying to get Crazy Kid a nice shielding given over. That was so aggressive from Enzo, who's now going to be able to move through. Oh, the mid-air grab here onto Tuzi. Surely that can get something done. In towards the back, you saw the VCRM, but here comes the critical mass of ultimates. Melio's feeling invincible. He's feeling powerful, and he's feeling loaded for bear, but he needs more behind him. The damage not quite there. The Mega Hurricane, yet another added to the crescendo. And the song gets louder. As Citadel Gaming, they cling to victory. DRP returns. Tuzi's here dancing in the air, but all that he's dancing is a funeral song for Chopped as Citadel Gaming convert on their absolute war chest of ultimates.
Oh, what a series. That one is going down in the history books. Major plays coming on through for Citadel, running out with a composition that they stuck with, allowing them to build up the ultimate charges through the back-to-back fights as opposed to having to swap. If they'd had Supernova just a little bit sooner to be able to put the pressure onto the objective after Citadel Gaming had been finished pocketing the final judgment coming on through from Melio, this could have gone a very different way, especially off of how aggressive Citadel tried to put Enzo into with the Psionic Seduction, looking to, as you pointed out, stop the portal recontest back from Crazy Kitty on that Doctor Strange. But no, Citadel Gaming come through with 6 ultimates and don't have to take a fight against Chopped until the objective gets right outside the finish line, and therefore can afford to dump every single one of them in such a succinct fashion that Chopped just had absolutely no way of standing up to the output of damage and raw hits that Citadel could put in that way.
Yeah, and one of the things that really stopped the Enzo plan from working out was the fact that DRP had to use both Iron Bulwark Shield on the Strange and bring up their Metallic Curtain to try and stop the rest of the team from getting grabbed on in. So they came out of that portal with no survivability resources as Magneto, and when you're going up against a Punisher with the Final Judgment, you need those more than ever. So it was kind of a Sophie's choice that had to be made.
Yeah, DRP as well tried to use the Meteor M, and Citadel, because they hadn't been pressured before, had regeneration domain to be able to live the entire thing of it as well. Big plays from Citadel. It really could at certain points though have gone either way. Like Tuzi on the Human Torch, absolute standout. We thoroughly expected that. Beetle on the Wolverine was actually incredibly strong too. He was getting so many good grabs onto such wonderful targets. However, after a hard-fought victory, Citadel will be able to come out on the end. Saying a 5-map series, I feel like, doesn't really do it justice. That had the potential of going to a BO7.
Yeah, that very much could have. If we'd gone to Convergence for this map, it could have been a draw and we just get the PO6. But we were spared that by Citadel deciding to go to Araco instead. But it's really looking like Group A is truly stacked, and I cannot wait to see them have some cross matches against Group B so we can truly see which of our EMEA teams is the most powerful. But we had big expectations of Chopped heading into this season. They kind of started off this kind of like competitive echelon of this competitive tier of play after Guangzhou by beating out Na'Vi in the night shift, which admittedly was like a newer Na'Vi squad, but still had all of that raw potential. And so we're like, okay, this is the team to watch. And even after losing Crisis, they truly look like an absolute god squad. But Citadel, they are still the goats of this aggressive play. Not to take any of their flowers, Melio has brought so much to this roster.
Yeah, because Melio, he doesn't just bring firepower. He also like brings a very calming presence, and he's very well fought as well. So he sort of has the mind of a coach, but also the mechanical skill of a player. So when you get to those moments and you have to sort of like adapt your composition entirely, having him being able to call and say, hey guys, we should be trying to do this instead, would be absolutely invaluable to a team.
All right, we got ourselves a quick interview with, I imagine, quite a tired lad coming in from Citadel. We have Enzo as usual. Nice to see you, buddy. Congratulations on the win. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling kind of upset. It shouldn't be that close. They're bots, I'm not gonna lie. It shouldn't be that close, I don't know. I'm kind of upset, but we take those. You know, it's the usual Citadel thing. We win games, it should be easy, then we throw a couple, and we end up on game 5 winning over time. Just us. Make it interesting.
So we were very surprised when Chopped down a map decided to take you guys to Domination and Hell's Heaven. Was that something that surprised the team as well? Because it let you guys play the Black Panther, which admittedly seemed to look like it was working for the first round, but then there was struggles in the rounds afterwards.
I don't play enough. Basically, we were playing Luna the whole game, and I thought it was banned, so I didn't say anything. But like the fact that we had Luna and not Invis changed a lot of the game. Then we tried to play some front-to-back boring thing. Didn't fit us, so we lost the point. And then once you lost the point, it's really hard to get it back. Basically, how to say it without saying bad words. we didn't play that well. Let's say we didn't trust in ourselves, and we tried to be another team, a team that this is not us. We tried to play what other team plays, and this is not us, basically.
You talked about Invis versus Luna on Hell's Heaven. What does Invis woman bring to the table in the current meta that makes her so good and so ubiquitous?
Basically, the two drafts we played, you don't really wanna. You don't want to have anything that can get dive, basically. And the fact that we have a Luna, which is like really easy to dive, and they have an Invis that is invisible before the fight starts, it's really annoying because we just can't find a target, and they have a free target to run at. So we are not really confident. It's a draft we picked up in the last week, and so we still need to work on it. We're not really sure for what's the best, and that's pretty much it.
So moving now into playoff stages, we know that you guys are going to be seated at the top of your bracket. Looking at some of the teams, since we're going to be seeing those groups now merge, is there a team in specific that you didn't get to match up in the group stages that you want to go head-to-head in playoffs against?
I would say Navi, but I think this has to stay for the finals. This has to be the best match of this tourney. VP, I'm not gonna mention them. They're not a thing anymore after what happened yesterday. Yeah. I'm like happy to face them. I was actually scared, you know, oh maybe I have to face them, but no, thanks God I have to face VP second match, so probably, but I think it's what's gonna happen. I think VP is gonna get smoked, then they're gonna get C2, we're gonna play against them again, match 2, and we're gonna roll on them. Thanks God they won and phase up kinda through the games.
Oh, Enzo, it's always so fun to talk to you. Congratulations on the win, buddy, and thanks for coming to have a chat to us.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that was Enzo Demon on the sticks for Citadel. We had the battle for control of Vanguards here between DRP and Enzo, which is always fun to see, but even funner to see is some honest to goodness cinema 3-2 scorelines. Go in and watch the replays of this one. It was an absolute giga banger, and that does conclude our Group A, Mox.
Yeah, that means that Citadel will be picking up first seed and Chopped will be picking up second. We'll have to see who exactly they're going to be playing, as a lot of that is going to be determined by what goes on in Group B. There's also going to be a best of 5 and another rematch too, and it didn't just happen yesterday, so there's been a lot of time for both of these teams to be able to better prepare against their opponent.
Well, you might be able to prepare for opponents, but you can't prepare for stunning looks like these, because the Grim Lady has arrived live into the game, and you can get that costume for Hela right now if you want to look your best while absolutely slaying. I'm a big fan of this one, Mox. I like the entire 1872 collection. I particularly like the Rocket Bounty Hunter, but Hela really is the pinnacle of style for so many costumes in Rivals.
Yeah, and it's just about to be the spooky season too, so you know you can dress to be able to match with the date that's going to be coming on up, and sometimes even we actually get to see Hela slip on through in terms of compositions as well. Plus, ranked meta is entirely different to professional meta. Maybe you're a demon with Hela and you want to be able to look your best in your own matches.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of players crank out the Hela now and then to try and use their comfort hit scan pick to really deliver. But when it comes to deliveries, I'm expecting our next matchup to deliver. Virtus Pro versus Na'Vi, the old esports classic for all of the European heads out there. It's going to be coming right your way after this break.
Smoke screen! I'm hunkering down. Judge! Jury! Executioner!
silently trapping all those fighting souls. But yet, across the world, I see you standing in my way. And remember the time, the place we used to fight, like the sun and moon. And I wonder if ever there was a time that we were friends. The night has fallen, shadows looming, and yes, that time has come for me to seek you out. We are set now for our last reunion. Break the chains, find your way, come find me. Do you remember who you really are? Show me that you are still the only one for me. I'll be waiting for you. Blink and hoping your rise, raising up with this and smashing through time walls. Before the rift splinters again, we are rebels till the end. Rise and open your mind, hold on to your powers, no one can stop us. We are rivals till the end of time. We will clash, no matter where. We will fight, reaching across time and space. 'Cause you are my destiny to the end.
World champions Na'Vi stand to once again be challenged by the upstart Bears. It's a world so long ago, Mox, where we would have thought, this should be an easy 3-1 for Virtus Pro, but times they have changed, and Na'Vi now look inassailable.
Yes, Na'Vi, we were, a little bit on the fence considering they'd just lost Melio coming in very, very late to that roster lock as well. But Crisis and Jerky have acclimatized to the team through those trialing periods, and we've got to see a lot of synergy coming through from them. Plus, the fact that Virtus Pro have struggled against dive component teams in the past does mean that I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of the bans drafted towards a potential of that Na'Vi double strategist full dive composition that they utilized so brutally against NJC earlier.
Yeah, it definitely seems like Virtus Pro, they're some sleepy guys, They take a while to get out of their hibernation cave, warm up. We do have a best of 5 series here, so maybe they can take some time to adapt. Although someone smarter than me can probably break it down better. I couldn't help but notice they did a lot better once they started first banning Jeff in their reverse sweep against FaZe. And you know what? This roster does have all the talent that's needed to try and bring it to Na'Vi, but do they have the drafts?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big problem coming on through from Virtus Pro. A lot of the time when we've seen them go into these matches, what they've had available hasn't always been the most meta at the time, something that we saw as well when they matched up against FaZe and Na'Vi before, trying to have to play things like the Cloak and Dagger, even though they had something like a Human Torch when they were available, just meant that the Human Torch didn't get that healing, nor did they get all that many Eternal Bonds into Terror Capes off of, because they were constantly just haunted by Jeff, and that Shark every single time had the ultimate ready to go and catch Dridro as they came out of those dash animations.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of value to be had as well from just banning Jeff when you're up against Na'Vi, given that there's someone on this roster who I would personally consider the greatest Jeff player in the world, and also a little bit of a free thinker when it came to playing Jeff, even before he was considered good. Fate is very much that guy on Jeff. Even before the game came out, Jeff was terrorizing the early access lobbies piloted by Faith, thinking, you know what, maybe I can make something happen with this character.
Remember when the game first released, and like literally for the first week of December, every single bit of content creation was complaining about how OP Jeff was, and to nerf the Shark, and people had to be like, well, actually you can dodge the ultimate. It used to be bigger. Remember that? Jeff used to be larger.
Yay! Oh yeah, I remember like the compilations, like ways different heroes can avoid Jeff. So like, Grid can put down a wall between like the epicenter and himself. You could obviously the one became most popular is Cloak and Dagger's Dark Teleportation to just confer the iframe onto everybody, because only a single instance of a capture that can come on through. But like Na'Vi's roster needs very little introduction. But as a Vanguard player, I'm always here to glaze. Trust me. Like, bro is just the IGL of the century, an absolute RTS player in a hero shooter, somehow maneuvering all the pieces to always have the perfect dive work out.
Not just that, Navi's ban drafts have been absolutely insane. So before we head into round number 1 against these teams, I want to have a closer look at how this draft system has gone down between these two teams in the past. So let's have a nice little bit of magnifying glass put over these moments, because the draft system, it's so important in Marvel Rivals. These are not universal bans in Ignite, so we really get to see targeted compositions and also trying to get the better draft from your opponent. The Mantis ban, we expect to see coming on through. Na'Vi, as we've talked about, we've highlighted the importance of the Jeff. They're going to immediately go for the save on that one. This then forces Virtus Pro into needing to ban something like the Ultron. Worrying about a full dive composition with Jeff, Ultron, Venom, Star-Lord just makes it a little bit too tricky on maps like Domination, where they're going to have so much mobility to get into your backline while also being able to bounce the point between themselves. It's also going to now strengthen a flyer composition like Torch or something like Phoenix, which Virtus Pro are going to show their angling for by going for the Ultron save themselves. Then we get the Jeff ban to stop Virtus Pro from the Venom Jeff flyer composition, and a Luna ban now comes onto Virtus Pro to weaken the flyer, because we already know that the Ultron is going to be looking for something to pocket. Virtus Pro, though, they know that there's likely going to be Star-Lord shenanigans or a Human Torch angle, and they want to take out Invisible Woman, so we don't get to see Guardian Shield stacking with the flyer when it goes to the dogfight in the sky. And indeed, they'll further strengthen that pocket with an Invisible Woman one-sided play coming on through from their side, making that flyer duel even harder for Na'Vi to be able to win. Na'Vi's next move we're going to get to see is banning out that Adam, one of the best compositions, one of the highest win rate comps in a Domination, and also going to have that Soulbind in a triple strategist lineup is something that you simply cannot allow. And here, this save from Na'Vi is the thing that actually allows them to win so dominantly against Virtus Pro, because Star-Lord is what they decide to pick, purposely knowing that fire is going to be on the Human Torch or the Phoenix if he gets pressured off of one or the other, and they can keep up the pressure with a Star-Lord of their own, while also banning out strategists that force Virtus Pro into having to burn ultimates with the Galactic Legend coming on through and weakening their entire defensive ult cycle, allowing Na'Vi better sustainability if these fights go long.
Holy brain blast, Mark.
You wanna see the notes? Here you go. This is how you ban draft.
There's going to be agents sent to your house to capture that notepad. We're gonna steal the Declaration of Independence. No. We're gonna steal Moxie's notepads. Alrighty, let's head into our first matchup here, and we'll see if once again history repeats for our Domination draft mocks between Na'Vi and Virtus Pro.
Does the Star-Lord get targeted? Are we going to see a Magneto getting targeted as well? Because it got to the point where Virtus Pro just banned the Star-Lord on the third map that these teams played against each other. What's it going to be? Instantly, it's a Jeff ban coming on for no surprises there. But do Na'Vi utilize the opportunity and punish the fact that you're so worried about Fate's Jeff that they guarantee themselves a one-sided Mantis for level 1 Crook?
Yeah, level 1 Croak loves some Mantis, and it's going to make these dives all the more difficult to try and deal with. Once again, we see Ultron protected here for Virtus Pro, and we know how Na'Vi responded to this previously.
It's flyers. Virtus Pro, triple strategist line or potentially flyers. Na'Vi are going to force them now onto having to go for a flyer style composition. Jeff gets taken out. No Jeff, no Venom team up coming on through to be able to counter dive Na'Vi if they decide to get aggressive. What is going to be the next ban line? Adam ban comes through from VP against Na'Vi. Invis Woman, though, in case Virtus Pro do indeed try to put fire onto something like the Human Torch or a Phoenix to play the off-angle guard control, or indeed a Namor if Na'Vi decide to go for dive and Virtus Pro look for the Hulk Namor to target it out.
Yeah, now with the Jeff being first banned as well, you're not forced to use your last ban on that Venom to shut down symbiotic shenanigans. And once more, it is going to be the Naga save for the Star-Lord. But how do you try and shut this one down? Potentially getting rid of the Invisible Woman? So
Invis, Luna, Mag, or Venom. if you're really worried about it. But the problem, yeah, I was gonna say, if you ban out the Venom, you're just gonna get a Captain America who's gonna be able to do the exact same thing, only with more solo survivability. So removing that Luna is actually stronger for Virtus Pro, because now they're going to have one-sided idle aura for Phi to be able to match up. And I also like the fact as well, he's starting off in the Star-Lord rather than something that's easier for the Star-Lord to be able to target out, like a Phoenix or the Torch.
Yep, just having that evasion ready to go. It's a different draft, a similar one, but it's a brand new day. And it's a longer matchup here for Virtus Pro and Na'Vi. Stamina is going to play a role. Adaptability is going to play a role. But on Celestial Husk, everyone's going to come out 100% energy, raring and ready to go.
Oh, Na'Vi though, gonna be showing something a little bit newer on Celestial Husk too, because they were able to get that Mantis. I saw a Loki, and that's also gonna mean that Phi on that Star-Lord is going to be up to the task of dealing with the doppelgangers, coming in with the AoE spin to be able to melt all of the doppelgangers down in one go.
Certainly is some good returns on those spins. I remember that Fate is going to have that team up here with the Mantis potentially.
Na'Vi though, they're going to have faster ult builds. They got the one-sided Mantis, so every single time the damage boost is onto Naga, he's always going to be leading 5 in terms of that ultimate charge, especially because he can be as aggressive as he wants. They got Rajaro on that Magneto to be able to bubble him.
Yeah. Going to be a lot of freedom to work with. Jerky's actually playing the Invisible Woman. This is not something we've seen from Jerky previously, usually picking up the Mantis, but of course the Ultron rather, but that is banned this time around. Damage boost onto Naga, not going too far to begin with, just playing a very reserved playstyle, waiting for Nevix to come on in. Already has used a Symbiotic Resilience. Now it's Trust Me's turn to move towards the other side. An attempted counter dive now by Virtus Pro, but spreading out the damage from a Blaster Barrage means that Spark is in deep trouble up in the sky, and you can see that constant application of the Guardian Shield on to the Star-Lord to make sure that he stays in relative safety. Quick swing from Trust Me into the frenzied arrival. Is going to have to use their Symbiotic Resilience once again. It's just an all-out brawl for the first capture.
Oh, but he gets the Bulwark as well, just being able to avoid that sent his way. Terror Cape coming on through from Jojo. Now that the Terror Cape's on cooldown, Trust Me might be able to look for an aggressive dive, but Sparker going to be able to shut the space down with the Rage of Ultron coming on through. First Na'Vi not giving up that position though. They have the Loki regeneration domain to hold that position. They get the first pick off onto Phi. Damage boosted Feast of the Abyss at the same time forces Saipe's ultimate, and Na'Vi are in full control.
Mighty Legend gonna ring out. Sparker dips away from the incoming healing of Valona, knowing it's about to expire. The Patty Cake is strong inside of a Dagger Force dome, but I think the damage might well have been done here already to Virtus Pro. At this point, they're just stopping the initial capture to give away some additional 3 percentage points. And there was a really cool play from Rajaro there, using the jump pack from a rocket beacon in order to go up and use the metallic curtain in front of the Ultron. That was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there could be an even better play coming in through from Rajaro in a matter of moments. Meteor M to absorb pressure from Galactic Legend, potentially turned into Eternal Bond wipeout as well. Fate with that regeneration domain going to be back on cooldown too, to have the God of Mischief alongside the Invisible Boundary. They might not even need to use Meteor M against the Solid for that reason.
All right, Rajaro waiting to find something with the Meteor Ram inside the Invisible Boundary. An attempt to shut this one down. Drujo forced to move elsewhere to a safe position up in the sky. Phi has targets to raid. There was a gap in the regeneration domains, and now just healing up between the Invisible Boundary and the Guardian Shields as well. A pair of Guardian Shields is far too many to deal with here for Virtus Pro. Trust Me going to be forced to escape in the midst of all of this and back into the loving arms of the strategists and the Rage of Ultron also ready to go. It's Sparker moving forward, looking towards the back line. Jerky's deeply in danger, but Fate's ready to try and answer this one out already. Fincy's there with the finish onto Naga, but a quick dash away from the Invisible Woman gets her into invisible safety. Nevix going to be forced to disengage as Level 1 Crook moves on forward. Na'Vi is still in control this entire time, by the way, and now they've carved through the remainder of Virtus Pro, who've already used so many of their resources.
Yeah, Soul Resurgence gives them the speed boost to be able to keep bouncing point, and not only that, aggressively run towards Saipe, who was so close to the fate of both worlds, which would allow Virtus Pro unparalleled sustain fight on the point and potentially find the flip. At least it means they'll have it up against the Star-Lord's Galactic Legend coming into this next fight, but Na'Vi are just going to put so much pressure on the War Cup and force them to use it before they're even on the point. At the moment, they're trying to hold on to it, but that just means that Phi gets left behind and picked.
Fi was nearly so evasive, moving through the mushrooms and the trees, but Naga was good on the follow-up, and the damage boost was even better, wrapping around the back. A Blaster Barrage is good to go when Spark is under siege. The Cellular Corrosion, I don't even know how that works onto metal, but Clintar still claims a life in its favor. A damage boost maybe, but no, it's just going to be the Terracade, meaning that Hanavi are a little bit more vulnerable. Inside of this invisible boundary that they're feeling nice and safe and secure, Meteor M ready to go as potentially the finishing blow towards this particular sub-map. Level 1 Crook dodges away from the Sonic Seduction, grabbed in, Terracade and Finty can convert. Inside of this though, it's going to be a Meteor M dug directly on top of a Vanguard. Nevix and Finty nowhere to be seen. The meat isn't there, the sustainability can't be brought forth. Even with the Eternal Bond, you just don't have that much real HP to work with on the side of Virtus Pro. Spark up above is raining down with the Rage of Ultron still, and I think that converts over onto Jerky, as Trust Me just finds the dregs, coming back in with the pentagram of Ferala. A last second contest from Virtus Pro, but Na'Vi is still in control, and they're going to be able to come back with their own portal if they so desire. Nevix had to use their Feast of the Abyss, tried to carve through Rajara. I think he may have bubbled himself there with the metallic bulwark. Multiple members of Virtus Pro have backed on off, and it's isolated them in the eyes of Trust Me, as surely Na'Vi are going to be able to clean this one up.
Oh, Galactic Legend, they might not need it. They managed to pick Cypher, who was again so close to Fate of both worlds, and indeed, yeah, just pressure onto Virtus Pro's last remaining player, trying to anchor the fort on the Doctor Strange, and Na'Vi will be able to pick up Celestial Vault with Galactic Legend still in hand. Big plays coming on through from them, but still closer than it was the last time that these two teams went head-to-head on domination, and a huge part of it is because Fi isn't just being melted the second he tries to show up for the aerial fight. Playing on the Star-Lord, yes, you have verticality, but you can also drop down to the low ground and actually receive the benefit of your Eternal Bond when you're recharging.
Yeah, getting that Eternal Bond can be everything. You can see Jerky once again going to be heading out with those extra packs. I wonder if Rashara is once more going to be able to grab this jump pack. I loved the rocket jump pack, then using the magnetic descent to slowly float in front of the Rage of Ultron and just no-sell all of that damage into the curtain.
I think my favorite use of the rocket jump pack was when a Magneto used it in Meteor M animation so that they were able to bounce over the shields of the enemy team and purposefully land the AoE splash onto the backline behind it. Na'Vi though, with again that one-sided Mantis damage boost, means in the neutral they're always going to be able to find the eliminations first, something that Nevix finds out the hard way.
Just cyber-bullied, there's no other way to put it. Call the bully hunters.
Rajara's... He's already on point. This is the thing for Virtus Pro, like, Finzy's on the Emma to try and prevent rushdown on something like that Venom and also go head-to-head against the Magneto when it moves to the point control. However, they always get fully ran past with the backline taking so much pressure. Fate of both worlds early came out from Saipe to make up for an absence of a Vanguard to be able to keep the point in play, and Na'Vi just come on for the Galactic Legend yet again, trying to zone Virtus Pro off of that point.
Naga down super low. You can see the augmented regeneration domains there. Gonna have Fate chased away. Spark able to get that one at range. Still Virtus Pro unable to get the first cap, but finally we're gonna start accruing percentage for the first time.
This is big for Virtus Pro too, because Sparker cannot be dove. He has Rage of Ultron, however, Rajara with that Meteor M now has a decision to make. Does he use that Mag Ultimate against the Ultron, or do Na'Vi try and simply disengage it and play around the terrain? Finzy's not going to give him the choice. Out comes the Sonic Seduction, forcing Fate to go for the copy onto the Mantis, and Na'Vi gets told out of the rotation.
Naga shut down in short order. Drigo is so far away that they're not going to be an option to try and burst on down. Cypher is going to be catching most of that. With Meteor M now gone, it's time for Sparker to try and reign over this one. Level 1 Crook and Fate are both down, so only Jerky's heal remains, but with the invisible boundary, it's as strong as it could ever be. Fi still finds a completion over there, and that was not an insubstantial usage of ultimates from Na'Vi.
It's huge from Virtus Pro going first, not allowing Na'Vi to start to figure out and coordinate who they're going to hit, where they're going to hit, and when they're going to go. Big tempo change up means that Na'Vi don't just get to leverage having the higher burst potential to find these eliminations before the fight properly starts. Fi's going to have the Galactic Legend, Jerky and Fate both without their ultimates. It forced a level 1 Crook for the Solar Resurgence to be enough to keep the team in play.
Nevix cooking, looking towards the back line. Rajara's going to be anyone grabbed here by the Cellular Corrosion. That's going to be a Soul Resurgence popped out here by the Mantis to try and keep the remainder of the team sustained. They bloody well need it when the Terror Cape gets 4 enemies purpled in towards the midst of all this. The healing's good. Coming through from a Fate of Both Worlds, Luna manages to rebuff the aggression of the Venom as well as the ultimate that was invested right there. Naga plays around the peripheries, knowing there's no point in it over-investing when you're looking into that Luna ultimate. Instead, it's going to wrap around the back and try to find a solo victim. Fate needs to do duplicitous movement away here, but the cooldown's not available for no doppelgangers to work with. Naga down to 22 HP, can get a momentary heal up coming through from Jerky and the Guardian Shield as well, but now Virtus Pro already at 96%. They all just move away. Rajaro can't even survive long enough to throw out the Meteor M. The Dark Depredations, they can't be eaten up by the Meteor itself, and Virtus Pro seem to have a brand new lease on life and a brand new understanding here on the Celestial Husk.
They worked out the draft. we said it. They worked out the draft, even though, yes, they went onto a line that could potentially have meant Human Torch was incredibly impactful. They didn't get baited into going Human Torch and went Starlord instead. Absolutely massive coming on for Fi going down a sum total of 4 times within 2 rounds as well, being able to put so much pressure. Dridor not getting picked too by the Meteor M's, having to force Rajaro into burning his in the fight before, trying to hold on to the point long enough for Na'Vi to try and find any regroup and keep that point contested. Now means that the Cloak and Dagger gets a free ultimate without having to worry about being taken down early. Virtus Pro can go as aggressive as they want with an Eternal Bond directly into Na'Vi's line, building into that Terror Cape.
Yeah, the Meteor M can struggle with mag survivability as well when you're going up against 2 Vanguards that don't have their projectiles eaten by the Meteor M, as well as the Ultron as well, all of whom can damage the Magneto while he's channeling.
Yeah, Virtus Pro just have ultimate advantage too. Finzy's going to be able to clear the space entirely off the point with the Psionic Seduction coming out. Nevix on the high ground already scouting the rotation so he can hit the dive before it goes for his backline and forces an ultimate.
All right, we're laying them on the way. This is allowed for Virtus Pro to back off into the cave. The subterranean safety potentially level 1 Crook already falling so low. And the self-healing options of the Mantis are not really that great. Just has to use those spores and then wait for healing over time. Fire looking towards the back line. Regeneration the main already used, but oh, trust me. Oh, wake up, honey. It's time to glaze. Trust me again. 2 strategists down off the back of a nice combo. Feast of the Abyss and Cellular Corrosion. Trust me, reigns supreme. Still an attempt to try and turn this one around. Fincy, even with only a singular strategist, is going to try and make something work. Both the Vanguards invest their ultimates here. I don't know if Virtus Pro really have the best read on that.
Oh, Jerky too with the invisible boundary for the slow onto Virtus Pro's back line. So the Vanguards either try and peel their players and give up point control entirely, or play point control and give up their backline entirely off of the damage boosted Feast of the Abyss coming on out. And that should be enough to secure Na'Vi. The first point cap, however, Virtus Pro are not giving this one up. Finzy onto the Doctor Strange, goes for the teleport. Saipe already had his ultimate available. Fate's gonna try and go for a copy onto the Resurgence, and Naga gets the setup with the Galactic Legend looking to target these players past the Doctor Strange. He goes into both of the strategist backlines, and finally that's been enough to force Virtus Pro off of the point.
Yeah, that forces the disengage, so the point gets captured in favor of Na'Vi, and now Virtus Pro know there's no point in fighting it out until they have themselves an opportunity.
Yeah, Rajaro is going to be able to close that opportunity as well, potentially into this next fight. If Fi burns Galactic Legend or Sparker with Rage of Ultron to open up this next fight, immediately they go into the Meteor M with that Magneto.
All right, level 1 Crook in major danger. Peeling comes through from the Meteor M. It's well charged up, doesn't make big impact though, and Nevix isn't quite as worried. So level 1 Crook has fallen on down, but that's a lot of alternate damage that's come on through already. Trust me, scares away Fi for a moment, and here's a 1v1 coming through from Naga. Quick jump up and a Guardian Shield as well. Deep penetration here of the Eternal Bond, and that invisible boundary from Jerky doesn't have too much place on the edge of the card. Forces out the Eye of Agamotto. Jerky and Trust Me both grabbed on through an attempt to try and shut down the healing AoEs given over by the Mantis, but it can't be done. Rajaro is going to return in their own right here, noting that Virtus Pro almost have a full flip of the point. They're going to cut off the strategist as well. A one-sided portal, an attempt to try and isolate Sparker and block out the damage. Naga around the outside catches Fi and catches even more so than this. Na'Vi holding strong. Here comes the healing. It's given over by Saipe. The Fate of Both Worlds is good, but Fate's got one of their own with a Soul Resurgence being dragged on up. Terror Cape is good. The follow-up, though, is not there, and Virtus Pro are forced once again to scurry back with their tails between their legs.
Oh no, sunk cost fallacy strikes again! Virtus.pro didn't find the flip the entire time. Na'Vi are just gonna push this aggressively. Virtus.pro don't have teleport. There's 10% left. Na'Vi are just gonna be able to hold off every single angle that Virtus.pro can potentially contest.
Trust me, sniffs out a scout around the outside. It has to be a mad dash here from Nevix. Don't know if he even actually got the touch right there. Should be able to move on in already. He's got so much of the overall CC burden applied to him. The frenzied arrival won't get too much, but someone needs to come in and touch now from the side of Virtus.pro. Finzy's up on the docket, but doesn't have a diamond form for damage reduction. No one needs to come around the outside because Fi's still playing it round the back. Has a blaster barrage to work with, yes, but has to wait for the remainder of the team to come on in. Saipe's down, Soul Resurgence still good to go. Sparker on the Winter Soldier of all things has now arrived. A quick one and done on to Naga. Maybe there's a little bit of magic to be held soon. Overtime's going to start ticking on down. Someone needs to take it down to the ground floor. But Virtus.pro are nowhere near. The descent is too slow, but the descent to 0 to 1 is complete. Na'Vi win out on domination.
It's kind of ironic given the late minute swap, but the fact that there was no reset of any of those fights coming on through from Virtus.pro where they identified, okay, we're not winning this, let's just full regroup and try again, really was the bane of point percentage control, because Na'Vi just kept being able to bounce it off of their players. Rujaro too, when we got to see Virtus.pro try and play for that last fight with Finzy on the Emma, perfectly Doctor Strange shielding off all heal LOS for both the Luna and the Cloak and Dagger, who would not have been able to get the auto-lock target onto their Vanguard because there was no position to bounce the light daggers off of the back from.
The Mantis once again delivering in droves for these as well. Regeneration domain super valuable, but also just being able to damage boost Naga and have these unfair fights, as well as make sure that even without a combination ultimate, trust me, could still be a real menace with the Feast of the Abyss.
Not just that, but also being able to secure Magneto, so that you didn't have to burn a strategist ultimate against things like that Galactic Legend, though we saw Na'Vi being more than okay with it. In fact, really taking quite a lot of advantage of both having the Loki and the Mantis and being able to use just the base out healing of Soul Resurgence to live Galactic Legend while also gaining a higher damage boost window, because suddenly you have two people who can damage boost rather than the Soul one. Virtus.pro definitely looked a lot closer when we went to that second round. I think like being able to have the Star-Lord really did help them. It meant that they didn't have a composition which literally was either the torch wins it for you or loses it for you. There was flexibility to the point that we even saw on the third submap when Galactic Legend opened up the space with Fi coming on through and forced that Meteor M. They actually took advantage of the Magneto being stuck in the ultimate animation long enough for Nevix on the Venom to dive the backline and find a hit, which I think was really, really smart from them. Unfortunately, like I said, there was no full resets, so the longer the fight went, the more point percentage in ultimates Virtus.pro lost and felt like they had to overcommit just to be able to finally win the fight and get the flip.
Yeah, they kept finding things where they thought they could take advantage of maybe a slight overextension, maybe a small amount of an edge, but in the end it's just so hard to flip that point with that central pillar of cover that you often, as you said, sort of the sunk cost fallacy. However, things that could be taken advantage of, maybe a console underneath your TV. If you happen to have the old PS4 lying around, you can now play Marvel Rivals on it, up on the big screen in all of its 4K glory. Marvel Rivals is good to go for the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, big players. I mean, already we're getting to see players on controllers on the Ignite competitive stage, and not just the EMEA stage, also the mid-season LAN stage as well. So those controller players really can hold the fort down when they go up against the PC. Though I'm sure controller probably has its own entirely different meta in comparison to PC. I feel like Scarlet Witch might be a bit of a scourge for the controller players to have to deal with.
We'll see. They do have their own MRC region to try and work with. However, now for Virtus.pro, they get to choose where we go, and they can once again set the pace for this matchup. We'll see what they decide after this break.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
No one.
I never wanted to be there.
I'm not. I tear through the cloudlet.
I'm not anyone's sidekick. What I do is best done alone.
The higher the pressure.
Who needs 4 when you've got 1? We are done chasing spiders. We have bigger enemies to conquer.
They'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong.
Symbiote. I hate these flarkin' things.
We assure you the feeling is mutual, rodent. But we must work together.
Fine. Try not to drip any protoplasm on me. I just washed my fur.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ow! That flarkin' hurts!
Such petty squabbles.
Snowball fights. Stop them in their tracks. They've made it halfway! Stop them!
Follow the enemy!
Better stop that vehicle! There's still a chance to stop them!
Born again!
Second chances.
Behold the god of thunder!
They hit a checkpoint. Now might be a good time to stop them.
I am Thor Odinson, god of thunder.
Better stop that vehicle!
Healing power.
I require some aid.
Here's how you shoot!
They made it halfway!
without Thor. Thank you, sister. By the eye of Agamotto, behold the god of thunder! Was but a scratch.
I ain't afraid.
Slow down.
They hit a checkpoint. Now might be a good time to stop them.
I am avenged.
The life force wants to heal you. I feel like I'm being watched. Check this
This
enemy.
time I need healing.
Our adversaries gather. The darkness now. I am barely wounded.
Better stop that vehicle! It's now or never! Stop them!
You have earned your eternal will.
Born again! My power grows.
I am ready to put on a show!
Was but a stretch.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Behold the god of thunder! By the eye of Agamotto!
Don't give them another inch! Or else.
I've carried this
Better
race
stop that vehicle!
centuries ago.
You're mine.
Well, you can't expect to win them all. Pick your hero. Or villain. I'm not judging.
I'm not anyone's sidekick. What I do is
I have mutant powers and a little demonic magic too. My soul remains noble as my sword stays bright.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Your soul is divided.
Yeah, part of it's a sword now.
That is not the King Fisher I sense.
How about you sense your own business, perfect human?
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Be strong together. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
A shame that these beings have not yet evolved beyond such petty squabbles.
See them? Right there.
Ah, there you go. Escaping us now. Just as expected.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now.
I need healing.
They captured the mission area! Double KO!
You're not my
Control
Not
seize!
now, not ever. Keep an eye on this place.
Come to me for healing, friend.
Magic is back! Survive this! They're already here. Let's kick them out.
My
Control lost!
Need some help. No escaping us now. Come, my
assistance, please.
Maximum pulse!
Their team's capture progress has passed the halfway point.
My turn
A nice deep freeze. Need some help.
It's the grand finale!
Come on!
I am ready to put on a show! Let's keep fighting until we have a winner!
second chance is over.
You lost Namor.
Judge, jury, executioner! Only cowards see shades of gray.
Cosmic collab!
My
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready!
Fishman? Hulk hates stupid fishman.
I assure you, Brute, the feeling is mutual.
Give Hulk one good reason not to toss you back into the ocean.
Because I would drag you down with me. Care to find out how long it takes for you to go from green to blue?
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1! All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
Two dooms, huh? Target-rich environment.
There
they are.
So much to smash.
Battlefield ready again.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now. We captured the mission area! That one hurts.
Strong again.
I'm not done yet. Smoke screen. Such a complex weapon for Battlefield ready again. Turret's gone. I didn't. Something seems fishy here. Light.
I guess you are worth the trouble, Frank.
I like the code. We are undefeatable! Progress has passed the halfway point.
Judge, jury, executioner!
Control C! I'm hurt.
Extended my deployment. Rise, my friends!
Hell unleashed!
Judge, jury, executioner! Hope grateful.
This is not over.
Now Hulk mad!
Heaven! Fall! They've almost got it!
Punisher made himself terrific.
A nice Well, you can't expect to win them all. You'll need a top-notch team to win this one. We are Cloak and Dagger. We are hope and fear. We are Cloak and Dagger. We are hope and fear. Light can heal and light can harm. Sing with me.
Nice spot.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
How nice of you to join us, Ilyana. Done playing Demon Queen? I've been at war with gods, Emma. What have you been doing? Helping to run a sovereign mutant nation. Oh, and I just had a manicure. Style over substance.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready to capture the available area and extract some goodies? Let's go!
You've saved my life far more times than weapons. Even so, it's always nice to have a couple of weapons. I'll patch you up.
I'll get you next time.
I require some aid.
Relay deployed. It ain't
Lights out.
Uh-oh! The other team is extracting those resources! My time to shine!
Ain't the bad guy.
Hold still! I'm trying to help!
I feel better already.
That's not polite! My time to shine!
I see you've been taking my lessons to heart, Magic. Bravo!
Enemy turret! Great job! You're loading up on resources! You've got competition! Clear the enemies to extract more resources! I'll get you my airplane off of them!
The moon haunts you!
So cold! Uh-oh! The other team is extracting those resources!
Hey, Teeny! Enjoy the amplifier!
Us against the world! My time to shine! Everybody needs a hand sometimes. Or a dagger.
I'm very hot.
We are undefeatable! The other team is ready to rumble! Looks like resources are running low. Get ready to find another available area.
Suffering darkness.
My time to shine! Just embrace the light!
I see you've been taking my lessons to heart, Magic.
They're halfway to victory! Don't let them get more resources! With the great job! You're loading up on resources! All gone! You should probably head to the next available area. Uh-oh! The other team is extracting those resources! Thanks.
In time.
My time to shine!
The moon haunts you!
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
My time to shine!
Your powers are mine! Hell unleashed!
Get in here, y'all!
My time to shine!
Way to get your dark force on. Hi, that feels good.
Thanks.
Impervious!
time to shine.
Maintain control of the target area. Lights out. Pinged an enemy. Get him. Lights out. Suffering the darkness.
I don't.
The other team is extracting those resources.
86 neon.
Great job. You're loading up on resources.
Lights out.
My time to shine.
Battlefield ready again. The moon haunts you!
Oh, you almost clinched the win. Just embrace the light.
Suffering the darkness.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Uh-oh. The other team is extracting those resources. My time to shine.
Lights out. Suffering the darkness.
My time to shine. Speed enhanced.
Pop back up on
Battlefield ready again.
Still here. Don't you put me out.
There is only one sorcerer supreme.